Good afternoon, everybody. John Thompson. I'm here for part 7 of my conversion of the Revell USS Arizona to the USS Pennsylvania. I'm more advanced in the kit right now. I've just finished attaching all the boats. They're aboard, including the motorboats. And I did encounter some caveats too in my construction I'd like to talk about. First, I'd like to talk about the motorboats themselves. Gold medal models will only give you photo etch for 2 of the motorboats, and basically that's just adding railings, 2 railings in the bow and the 1 across the stern. Because I have 4 motorboats on the Pennsylvania, I decided to leave those photo etch details off. Now, with the aircraft themselves, I'm building 4 aircraft on this to match James Flood's picture that I mentioned so prominently on Myron Smith's book, the USS Pennsylvania Keystone Battle Wagon, for those of you who are interested in buying it. I decided to basically go with the 4 aircraft. I have to decal them yet, but the paint is drying on the plane, so they're going to be attached actually aboard. Now, gold medal models does include photo etch for only 2 airplanes, not 4. So I'm leaving the photo etch off of those as well. I also did some photo etch on the forward superstructure at the bottom where the long stairs go. And this is basically going off onto second deck from the superstructure deck. So those took a little bit of work to get into because I made the mistake of attaching my funnel before adding these details. It makes it a little tougher to get access back there to do that, and probably will also make a little bit of an effort too for me to try to paint back there as well. Luckily everything's all the same shade of gray, so if I'm a little wayward with my paint at that point on the back of the assembly, it's not going to matter. The stairs look great. They went on after much consternation and a lot of doing. Took about an hour actually for something where if I didn't have the funnel attached, it would have taken me a couple of minutes and then it would have been done. So I have to cut a section of rail that has to go across the back there, and hopefully once I get that on, that'll be the end of that. A couple other things I wanted to bring to your attention as well. I talked about the planes and I talked about the boats. I still have some work to do yet on the cranes, among them being adding the railings and ladders to the cranes themselves. Pretty much the photo etch fret from gold medal models is emptying out. The one from Tom's is pretty much emptied out too. They do give you crew. However, they're scattered within the photo etch frets, so they're a little bit disoriented as they go together. Now the other details, such as gold medal models, they're actually in separate gates, so they're a lot easier to keep track of and prevent myself from losing those parts. And they give you a sizable number of crew as well, so both could be used in the model. One of the other things I did encounter was a slight mistake. I had glued the catapult on the turret number 3 down, and unfortunately in the assembly process I wound up having a little too much glue pop out, and it made a very ugly bump. I tried painting it thinking it would go away. I have a cradle which I'm going to glue, and it'll hopefully hide that defect in the model. So that's the next order of business in detailing this. I still have yet to also install the railings on the forward superstructure tower as well. Tripod masts are looking good. I put the range clocks on. They're very nice detailed castings. I will issue a caution though on this. I painted them, and then I thought, oh, okay, well, I'm going to add the numbers. Well, I added the numbers with marker. They're black numbers with a red hand. Well, I used paint for the red hand. Unfortunately, the paint was very runny, so it did make a mess. I had to touch up the model touch up that part a few times before attaching it. In addition to my redoing the numbers with the marker, I had to paint over it a couple of times just to get the numbers just right. Unfortunately, I'm not overly happy with how they look, but from a distance it looks good, and the mind sort of fills in the details, so you really can't tell. I'm going to show you the model today as I have it. Alright folks, here you go. I'm showing you port side. We're looking at numbers 1 and 2 turret. Here's your forward superstructure, and as you can see, I've attached all the boats, and I also have started painting those plastic molded railings that I was telling you about that I was going to make look like canvas. So that's all been done. This area over here is where I'm talking about. There's some stairs behind here that are long that come down. So those were the ones that were giving me the problem here. So that's why I recommend you don't attach you don't attach your funnel until later. Here's a range clock back here. Hope you can see it. Let's see. There's the range clock on the mast, and I'll show you the range clock on the forward mast. Now, hopefully everybody can see that okay. I do need to still attach the anti-aircraft guns at this part here on the model. I guess I can hold that up there. I do need to attach the anti-aircraft guns on these parts of the deck here. So that is definitely something in the works there. Now, I would also like to tell you too that Gold Medal Models doesn't give you enough of ladders to finish the assembly. I had 6 ladder wells on the back of the superstructure requiring 6 ladders. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough of ladders initially to do it. Now, I could have left the cast-on ladders on the stern, and it would have given me enough of ladders to do, but it wouldn't have looked right having all that photo etch detail and then the horrible cast crude steps. So that basically was kind of what had me stick to what was on the outside and what you could see on the model. So that's going to be something I have to work with. I know next time I'm going to build this model a little differently. So it's sort of been kind of a educational project for me as well. Now the other thing too I wanted to point out with this model too that will have to be done is I'm gonna, like I said, I want to add ladders on the cranes, the boat cranes themselves. So Tom's does not give you any ladder stock at all. Gold Medal does. So Tom's instructions are really bad too as well because they give you bracings. They don't tell you what anything's for. All they care about is just your catapults, your cranes, and your flag halyards. That's basically all they really care about. And the rest of it's whatever goes, whatever you want to use. They don't really say. And so that can be a little frustrating when trying to figure out what goes where. Gold Medal Models is a much more thorough instruction set that they give you. They also will basically show you things you need to do to prep parts. For instance, like I said in the last video, I had to shape down the boats a little bit, and it did not affect the attachment of the deck on the motorboats. The motorboats actually look a lot better when you take them down about a 1/16 of an inch across the sanding block. So that was good there. Like I said, they only give you enough photo etch for 2 boats on the motorboats. So I'm going with 4 motorboats as well as 4 planes. And it's the same situation with the planes, so I have to leave photo etch. I don't want to do photo etch and then not do photo etch on two planes. It looks kind of silly. So either do it or you don't do it. And so I want to try to be uniform in the model anyway, because the mind will fill the details in, but the eye will pick up if I do something on one part of the model but not on the other. So that's a lesson that I learned, and that brings us up to today. So I look forward to doing a video 8. Like I said, I'm getting closer to getting finished on this project, and that's it. Have a great day.